Hey, what's up, guys? Back with it with another daily vlog. Yes, we are going to talk about accountability and how excuses and explanations are for liars. So, first things first, I am holding myself accountable. I did not post a daily vlog yesterday. This is something that I told myself that I would do, and I did not do it. Plain and simple. I'm not making an excuse. I'm not providing an explanation. I'm literally saying I'm holding myself accountable, and I chose not to do it last night. So that's what we're going to talk about. Um, I've had several days of interesting happenings and accountability, guys. Like, are you accountable for your actions? Do you keep your word when you say you're going to do something? Now, case in point, exactly. I missed my daily vlog yesterday. I did not post it. I chose not to do it. And instead of providing you an excuse on why I couldn't do it or explaining why I couldn't do it, I'm saying I fucked up. And there's nothing here on YouTube. There's nothing saying that I have to do this. It's just something as a man, I'm saying, you know what? I chose to do this daily vlog and I chose not to do it. And guys, this goes in every area of your life. And a lot of the things that I'm posting about is the same thing. Like, excuses and validations are only there for those who make them. And, you know, am I providing you an excuse why I didn't do it? No, I'm not. But I'm talking about accountability. And I'm talking about how we continue to lie to ourselves in our lives. Because what we end up doing is, we end up excusing and explaining away why we didn't do something to quote unquote absolve us of the word that we said we're going to do. And, as a business owner, we deal with this all the time with employees. We've had really, really bad employees. And we've had good employees. Like, there's differences though. And, the biggest thing that I would say is now more than ever, like, if you want to win in business, in a job that you're in, be accountable. Be truly accountable. Don't say you're going to be accountable when you're really not. And cause yourself to reflect and go, am I really accountable? Because as a business owner, as somebody who's employed a team of 7 people, what I see on a day-to-day basis is people tend to explain or provide excuses on why they have such a low standard. And as an individual that holds himself accountable to a high standard, that's really difficult. And to be honest with you, people that don't meet standards and people that don't hold themselves to the same level that I do fucking bother the shit out of me. Like, I just don't even want to be around them. And that is why, in my life, in my family, in my business, in my fitness, like, I'm always constantly raising the standard. Because winners, true winners, people that are successful are constantly raising the bar. They're constantly raising the standard. They're not lowering the standard. And they're not explaining why they didn't hold themselves to their word. And in our business, we have core values. And it's, there's basically 4 main core values. And they're tied around, like, always do your best. And realize that doing your best is going to change from time to time. But also be accountable. Own your mistakes, own your energy, and we try and pass this piece to our culture. And not only do we pass this piece to our culture, we live it. In case in point, it's like, you know what? I told myself I was going to do this daily vlog, and simply put, I didn't do it yesterday. I chose to deprioritize that, and at the end of the day, I was like, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not going to sit here and explain to you why it couldn't happen. Yesterday was a very, not stressful, but it was a very chaotic type day. And I chose to just not do the video. And so, but it goes into every aspect of your life, guys. Like, we always go back to fitness. We always use fitness as the example because it's easily physically seen, right? If you're overweight and I meet you, I can automatically tell that you do not respect yourself on how you treat your body. But I want to dive into the accountability piece of people that are just full of shit. There's people that say they're accountable. There's people that say they're consistent. There's people that say that I'm trying, right? Like, people that are not truly accountable, people that are liars, say these things. Like, they explain why they didn't do something. And it's because they're full of shit. And some of you are going to be triggered and butthurt, and I don't really care. But people explain away their excuses. They explain why they didn't do something. You know, if we put it in a business context, you know, showing up late to work. Oh, I was stuck in traffic. Okay, cool. Well, you were stuck in traffic last week. Are you not preparing and leaving earlier so that doesn't happen? Oh, I ran out of gas. I mean, I haven't fucking ran out of gas since I was 16 years old. That happened one time. And it never happened again. So people that have low standards, people that are full of shit, frankly, what they do is they explain everything they do. So, you know, some of the key phrases to watch out for is, I'm trying, I'm doing my best. But are you really? Because you're not. Because you said you would do X and you're not doing X. So are you really doing your best? Because, results tell you the truth about your effort and your intellect. The results that you get in your life in any area tell the truth about your effort and your intellect. Go back to body. Are you overweight? And you show up and you say, oh yeah, I'm working out 5 times a week. Really? Because your results don't show that. Your standards clearly are lower in yourself. And I say this coming from a place where I was overweight. I was unhealthy. I was sick. I was a bad father. I was a bad husband. I was not connected to God. But people who use excuses are only validating the things that they say to absolve themselves of their word. And my point to you guys is this: like, if you are not willing to admit that you're a liar, and you're not willing to admit or hold yourself accountable, or you're not willing to hold yourself to a higher standard, how are you going to fix it? How do you fix something that you continuously excuse yourself of for not doing the work? How do you fix that? You don't. You don't fix it by absolving yourself, by providing an explanation and excuses. It's like when I worked for the fire department. So one of the fire departments I worked for was like a 40-minute drive on a perfect day, no traffic, no weather, perfect day, 40 minutes door to door. And I didn't start shift till 7 a.m. So that meant when living in Colorado, when the snow hit, I was leaving at 5 a.m. Because I knew, 40 minutes, if there's any weather, if there's any traffic, I had to get up early and leave super, super early. And I was never late. It didn't matter the things that happened. It didn't matter the chaos that showed up. I just kept my word. And, As I'm rolling in, I'm 75 days away from turning 40. I'm a father of 2 amazing boys. I'm a husband of an amazing wife. I run an incredible business that's full of high standard customer service. And as I get older, as I develop myself, as I reflect more, as I continue to grow my standard and my expectations, these scum, these people that can't hold themselves accountable to basic things, I just cannot stand. And it's something you're going to encounter in any aspect of your life. It's like maybe your coworker is the same, right? I had a guy at one of the old fire departments I worked for. Like, he didn't show up, and that meant I had to do more work because he didn't do the work. And I mean, guys, I would go into his office and he'd be fucking sleeping, sitting up, and then he got pissed at me because I was like, hey, I need more help from him, because like literally nobody knew what this guy did. And he couldn't tell me what he did. He had to explain why he couldn't help me do the thing that I was trying to do. So accountability is such a big piece in my life. And it's like, with this generation, this younger generation, they struggle with accountability. And I've seen it time and time again of, being an older sibling and employing people that are much younger than I. And it's not we have a fantastic employee right now who's very, very young. But she holds herself accountable, and that's the big difference. And, she knows the standards we have. She knows the culture that we're trying to create, and she fits it, and she's working towards, being a contributor to that culture. And so, guys, we have to be willing to admit our faults. We have to be willing to be accountable when things get tough, when you make mistakes. Like, the first thing you should be saying is, I fucked up. I messed up. That's my fault. You shouldn't be explaining all the things to absolve you. Because anybody that has high standards knows that an explanation equals low standards. A reason, an excuse equals a low standard. It equals somebody that is a liar. And if I say that and it triggers you, good, because we're all liars. Every man, woman, and child, we are all liars. We lie to ourselves. We absolve ourselves of our excuses and the things that we're supposed to hold ourselves accountable for. And we explain our behaviors to do less. And we are in such a conditioned society today where doing less is acceptable. So those outliers, those people like myself, like my wife, like my circle, my tribe, we are outliers in this world because we're not willing to accept the mediocrity that comes with explaining away and absolving ourselves so that we don't have to take responsibility. If I fire an employee or have an employee who doesn't quite make it, the first thing I do is I take responsibility. The first thing I do is I reflect and go, hey, what could have been done differently? Where could have things happened or been, different? And then I start dissecting everything. Hey, was this standard clear? Was this core value that we have clear? And I start putting the pieces together. It's the investigator side of me. When I left the fire department, I was an investigator. Highly trained, internationally trained investigator. So I take all these pieces and I start putting them together. I start building the puzzle in front of me and going, okay, this was here, this was there, this was there. And I start really dissecting every situation that I come across. And, the older I get, the more that I work on myself and I do these things, that becomes a little easier because I don't have to look in the past. I'm always looking forward, and I'm always making sure that the things that we have in place are in place and are handled, and that it's crystal clear on what needs to be done. And so it doesn't mean that we're perfect, or I think I'm perfect. 100% far from it. But I'm not sitting here explaining or lying to you. I don't even know who you are watching this video, and I'm saying I simply chose not to do a video yesterday. So be accountable, guys. If you want to win in any area of your life, be accountable. Allow your results to do the explanation, not you allowing your excuses to explain why you didn't do something, why you didn't keep your word. Your results should speak for themselves because results are factual information. Facts are void of emotion. Facts do not lie, right? It's a fact that the sky is blue. I couldn't explain to you how it's really purple through a series of made up stories. Like, the sky is blue. Plain and simple. Facts do not lie. And the sooner you start choosing facts over emotions in your life, that's when real success starts happening. That's when the ball starts moving forward. That's when you start to develop and become a person of accountability. I'm rolling into 75 days till I turn 40. I am hitting the gym every day. I'm doing some sort of exercise outside every day. I'm following a diet specifically, or more specifically, a way of eating, not necessarily a diet, because I don't believe diets work, but I'm following a plan that I've put in place. And for me, I'm the only one that could choose not to keep my word. If I don't work out, if I don't eat the way that I said I was going to do, if I don't go out for a walk, if I don't do a daily vlog, it's all on me. But I could sit here and be like, well, I didn't do this because of so-and-so, or I didn't know, or yeah, I was going to ask that. Like, if you don't know something, it's on you. If you say your expectations aren't clear in your job and you don't ask the person that you report to, what are the expectations? Who's that on? Because you got to take responsibility. So that's it, guys. That's my daily vlog. I'll see you back tomorrow.